Now you can see the sandstone here. You can see different directions, but let's start putting some arrows in. Okay, there's one very obvious bedding direction. The orange color is just iron that comes down through the water. Next one, Joseph. Now you'll see at the bottom, there's one that's at a different angle, and it looks like it's going at different angles to many things. So Joseph, give us a look at the next one. Now, do you see we've now got three different directions? In fact, you would say, how do I explain that using Steno? Steno's concept, the bottom layer got there first. Then they come in order. If you find fossils in the bottom layer, they must have lived and died before the ones that are next. The layers are continuous, but these look like they've been totally intersecting, but are they continuous? Okay, look at that. The big pebbles are going off in a different direction. And this is all in a piece of rock. You can stand there and see meter by meter. Next one. Now, when you look at this, you will find that the rocks, it just appears until you get close up. If you've got a specimen like this nearby, can I encourage you, take some close-up pictures. We're trying to collect as many examples of it as we can. These are brilliant because they are demonstrating one thing. Steno should have checked. The geologist who assumes Steno is correct, and therefore the bottom layer in the Grand Canyon got there before the next layer, probably needed to listen to my old geology professor who actually told us early in my course, students, I hate to tell you this, but the rocks in the Grand Canyon get old sideways. And he never said another thing. I think I now know why. All the laminar in the liquid start at one end and they go sideways. And the type of rocks they're depositing is governed by the properties of the water more than the properties of the sediment that's coming in, including this most unusual thing that we've now called chiastic laminar strata. Next one, Joseph, I think we're just about done. There's yours. Okay, we've close-upped on this. You can see the strata that are coloured in with the beautiful iron staining. The iron staining is coming along the strata, but if you get up closer, particularly on the right-hand side, can you actually see? Some of you have got good eyes, some of you haven't. In fact, if we go one step closer, Joseph, you might be able to see, particularly in the middle, that the strata from the top coming in from the left-hand side are actually continuing through the rock. See the layers underneath? And where they meet, you get that nice deep iron band. In fact, if you've got good eyes, you can see the same is true for so much of it. The layers are not stopping just because it's terminated in your visual sight by that iron band. The layers are actually going through the next lot of layers. Wow, Steno should have done more homework. Darwin and Lyell, who assumed that the animals that are found fossils in the bottom layers lived and died before the animals that are fossilized in the next layers. And if they're any different, then it must be because of evolution. And if it's because of evolution, then the percentage difference in the fossils at the top and the bottom represents vast amounts of time. And therefore you can label the layers as units of history, whereas what we're looking at is the layers are units of the behavior of the laminar flow. What a radical change. Thanks, Joseph. Back to you and me and to Diane. There's the reference to it. So look it up. A new term, maybe a new discovery. If you find any more examples, send it to us. Support what we do. Chiastic lamination, brand new term made up just for today's program.